It's been a pretty ordinary week for the federal government with plenty of free kicks for the coalition. Of course, Labor's promise not to tamper with super has been exposed as a lie. The government has failed to rule out jacking up taxes in the budget this year. And Anthony Albanese told the National Press Club once again that he would reduce the cost of living without offering any solutions. Let's bring in Keith Wolahan, Liberal member for Menzies. He also sits on the Economics Committee. Thank you for joining me, Keith.
Thank you for having me, Caleb.
Look, the whole super thing is a disaster as far as I'm concerned. And look, we shouldn't be surprised this government is walking back on promises it made. But there's no win here for a person going to work and trying to save for their retirement when the government's saying we want more of your cash. Doesn't it defeat the purpose of the superannuation system that the Labor Party itself set up?
I think that's right, Caleb. And we saw at the start of this week, the Treasurer appeared to talk about big picture policy, and we always welcome that, and we're happy to have a serious conversation. But then the conversation descended into a farce, and we saw that what they really want to do is to come after people's money because they don't see it as your money, they see it as the government's money. It's a honeypot that they want to get their sticky fingers on.
And just the use of the honey pot, right? The honey analogy. Again, I said before, I don't know why the hell they would have this conference with a bee theme. It's all a bit weird. But to hear the Assistant Treasurer describing your superannuation, the money you're saving so you can have what the government's calling a dignified retirement as a honey pot that needs to be used for the benefit of the rest of the community. It's not there for the benefit of the rest of the community. It's there for your benefit. How dare you try to maximise the money you have in retirement?
That's right, Caleb. And this money is money that has been through the tax system several times. It's not like this money has never been taxed before. People have worked hard for it. They have paid other taxes, and they have then sought financial advice. They have relied upon that financial advice. And we need to stop treating super as this institution that can be messed with year on year. People need to have certainty to plan for their retirement.
And I don't understand as well the total opposition of this government to being able to withdraw money early to buy an asset such as a house. I mean, if you're buying an asset that is understood to increase in value over time, and a house is one of them, and by the way, it'll provide security to you in retirement because it's a roof over your head, I just don't understand why it is treated as such an abomination of the system. It's your money, you're investing it, just not through a fund controlled by a union.
And that's at the heart of it, Caleb. It's about who do you trust? Do you trust individuals and families to make decisions about their own job security and their own financial affairs? Or does the Treasurer and the Assistant Treasurer know better? And I think we know the answer to that. Individuals and families will always know what's best for them, and we should trust them. And that's the key to our economic success. And there's no more important security for your retirement than a roof over your head. And I think it's a wonderful policy that the coalition took to the last election, and we encouraged the Labor Party to take it up.
Just quickly as well, Keith, we saw last night the launch in Adelaide of the Yes campaign for the Voice to Parliament. Anthony Albanese was in Adelaide yesterday. He was in Adelaide on Thursday morning, but he'd flown back to New South Wales on Thursday night to campaign with Chris Minns. It struck me as a little odd that he wouldn't have hung around in Adelaide to be part of the launch of the Yes campaign, given, of course, that it's his government that is pushing for the Yes vote.
Look, I'm not going to criticise Anthony Albanese's diary plans. That they're for him to decide, but it's always an indication about what he thinks is more important. And we all know there's a state election coming up, and elections, I think, are one of the most important things for the Labor Party. And that gets back to this superannuation debate. We relied, and the public relied upon the commitments that were made by the Labor Party, and then we get to the other side of the election and they're gone. So I think there's a real question of trust between the public and the Labor Party about what's more important for them.
Keith Wolahan, thank you for your time.
Thanks for having me, Caleb.